Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. I know you'd think I'd have all this done before I start the camera, but sometimes I can't see myself until I hit play. So anyways, happy Tuesday. Second day in the work week. Second day in the work week. Okay. So if you're watching this later, you have noticed that in my caption I put F fear. All right, fuck fear. So yesterday I was talking a little bit about the journaling process I was going through and how I kept kind of circling back, right? And one of the things that I covered was fear. But today I was like, I'm still working on the other series that I want to do. And I want to give it my full attention and my full thought. And it's a little rough because it's something that I go through. So it's it's taking its time to come out of my brain. But in the meantime,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Sorry, my echo. But in the meantime, that's actually kind of funny, right? I don't even remember saying anything that would have triggered her, but she's like, I don't know how to help you with that. Yeah, nobody can help me with that. However, that being said, I didn't know what to do today. So I thought, you know what? Let's just go with the soul awareness deck. And I did shuffle earlier. I shuffled the cards, and this is the one that flew out. Am I letting fear stop me? So, hello, continuation of part 1 from yesterday. So, am I letting fear stop me? Are you letting fear stop you? So, I'm going to read the card, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? So, again, am I letting fear stop me? Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. All capitals. You are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable. But it's up to you to see that by taking action. Today's soul action. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will need to become. So there you go. I don't know. Yesterday I talked about one of my fears being clowns, right? Or falling, but clowns. And Sibling and I love, well, I don't know if she loves it, but I love watching the Great British Bake Off. And Noel was wearing the sweater. I love his sweaters. And last week he was wearing one. And I'm like, I love that sweater. And Sibling's all, really? And I'm like, yeah, I saw the clown on it, but it was still cute. It was still cute. But, yeah, but what fear can you choose today to be the boss of? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be something that's outwardly projecting, right? Like, say someone sits there and goes, but I don't want to talk to somebody I don't know. I don't want to say hi to someone I don't know. I don't want to smile at someone I don't know. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you're a perfectionist at work. How about trying to get through the day without demeaning yourself? That's facing a fear. Believe it or not, that is facing a fear. Because what you're worried about is the project not being perfect, the job not being perfect, whatever it is that you're working on not being perfect. That's okay. That's okay. I think a lot of times, and I speak from personal experience on this one, in my perspective, I think a lot of the trouble that we have when it comes to fear is that we are so worried about the outcome that we don't even try. We get a little upended by the outcome. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know. What if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? But we never ask that question, right? What if it does? What if it does work out? What if the way we planned it doesn't work out, but it works out even better than it initially was intended to? And that's just it. It's like you see it. I know it's backwards, but you can see right there. It's capitalized. You are the boss of fear. One of the things I love to do is I love to write stories. Have I put any out there? I put it out there once, and about a week later, I took it down faster than my family. My 2 cousins could read it. And they still do not let me forget about that, but I haven't put it back up. And I realized there were a lot of mistakes in there, but the problem is I had gone over it so many times that I wasn't even seeing the mistakes anymore. I wasn't seeing the grammatical mistakes. I wasn't seeing the spelling mistakes. And normally I'm good with that. But when we obsess over certain things out of fear of it not being perfect, maybe we're kind of standing in our own way and creating something that's not perfect. To be honest with you, if it comes to your personal self, we're never going to be perfect. I know people don't want to hear that. It's like, well, speak for yourself, Shelley Marie. But, just even yesterday, older sibling was like, you are perfect, just the way, she's like, you are perfect. And I'm like, no, I'm perfectly imperfect. And I'm okay with that. And she didn't argue with me. She didn't say anything because I knew what she meant. She meant you're perfect, but it's like in her eyes, whatever I did was. But for me, I was like, nope. But it was an interesting response for me because usually it'd be like, no. And it's kind of downplaying it, right? Downplaying something good that you've done. But I said, no, I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm okay with that because I spent my whole life trying to be perfect and I never got even close to whatever perfection was because we're always changing. We're always moving in new directions and different directions. So I'm happy being perfectly imperfect and I love it. Now there are projects that can be perfect. They might be perfect to us, but they might not be perfect to somebody else. I mean, take art, for instance, right? You go into a museum and you see some abstract art, or maybe like somebody sticks an orange to a white background, like literally, like 3D art. And someone will sit there and go, I don't get it. The person that did it might think they're a genius, okay? The other person looking at it might go, wow, that's incredible. And it's open to interpretation, right? Maybe you're not interpreting it the same way the artist did, or maybe the artist just did it to see the reactions, right? Maybe they just thought, I'm going to put this on there and see what people come up with, like the orange on a white background, the fruit. I'm just thinking of fruits because sibling's in her Tangelo phase right now, and they're very weirdly shaped. I don't know. It's like they look like they have a top, like a bottle top to them. But anyways, but I think they might just do it to see the reaction of somebody. And someone may sit there and go, that is so perfect. But the person they're with may be like, I just don't get it. It's a piece of fruit on a white background. But see, I love art. So, and sometimes I don't always get art, but I love art because the colors fascinate me. I'm like I don't know, like a squirrel that loves colors and numbers. But a lot of times people aren't going to get it. So what may be perfect to you may not be perfect to somebody else, which means in reality, nothing is ever perfect. And I think a lot of times we have that fear within us because we're shooting for perfection. You know what? Aim for the stars. Or what is it? Aim for the sky and you'll fall amongst the stars. I can't remember the quote exactly, but that sounds good enough. So we'll go with that one. But it's exactly that. Shoot for the top. You're going to hit the stars. Somebody out there is going to like what you're doing. Somebody out there is going to see what you're doing. Somebody out there is going to appreciate it. And somebody out there may not. Somebody out there may go, really? This again? Everything is open to interpretation. But as long as it makes you happy, that's what's important. Don't do things for other people. In my perspective, and again, in my own experience, I feel like a lot of times I fall short of my own finish lines because I'm so busy creating and doing for what I think the world wants to see. And by the world, I mean my circle of people. But, but when somebody creates something amazing, when somebody creates something good, and it turns out to sometimes be something amazing to other people, it's because it's something that came from them. For instance, I wrote a story about a year or two ago, and I've sent it to 3 people, one of which has read it. But I decided to rewrite it because I thought, this actually, when I read back through it, I thought, wow, there's so much more I can do with this. And it wasn't out of a place of perfection. It was, I saw it from healed eyes. When I wrote it, it was a very cathartic piece. And it was about 40 pages, short story, and, it was just about a very, very heavy subject. But I didn't write it for anybody else but me. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it to somebody to read. My friend read it within a day because, like I said, it's only 40 pages. It wasn't that long. But even she said, she's like, I really like it. And she's all, that had to be very cathartic for you. And it's like, it was very cathartic for me. And it's like, thank you, because that's exactly how I was feeling. But I didn't know if that was going to come across to the people that I knew. However, I was also afraid to extend it really because I started to worry when I started to edit it. I started to worry about the people that know me really well. They were like, oh my God, is she in this mindset? Is this the mindset where she's at now? Should I worry? But it wasn't that. It was about a healing process, and it was kind of stepping at a linear time and just stepping into, unlimited possibilities of whatever. And when I was writing that, fear wasn't in my mind. But when I got feedback on it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, the fear hit. And to be honest with you, I haven't been able to write in a while because I think that fear still sits there. So I'm processing this as I'm talking to you guys, okay? Because I think that's one of the problems is that I start to write, and I start to write from a place of, what is someone else going to think about this? What we should be doing with anything we're passionate about, anything, whatever your hobbies are, your interests are, your likes, don't worry what other people are going to think. If you love to go hiking, or maybe you like to go walking and you're like, I think I'm going to try this hike, but, it's 2 miles long and I don't know if I'll make it. So I don't think I want to do it. You know what? Go anyway. Even if you only make it a mile, you've done something for yourself. And you might do that same mile and one day you won't notice it and you've done the 2 miles. And you're right where you want to be. And you're like, whoa. Because you're not thinking about it. You're not worried about what other people are going to say. We live in a world where technology is all around us, right? It's on our phones, it's on our wrists. I mean, you literally have a digital imprint wherever you go. So, for the people that are worried that, the chip is inside of you, not to be facetious. Well, no, I am being facetious. You have a phone. Anybody can find you. I have 4 people on my phone that I can keep track of just to make sure they're okay. I live with one of them, but I'm not always home. So I want to make sure she's okay. I share my location with my dad, so he knows I'm okay. I share my location with baby sibling and Ate Jr., and that's a personal choice. You don't have to. But we have a digital imprint. But I kind of squirreled there. Sorry about that. But in the age of technology, what I was going for is that, when I talked about sharing, I also share my workouts with other people that are on the same app as me. And, I know that they know if I haven't done my workout. I know they know if I haven't hit my steps or my calories or my stand-up times. And that bothered me for a long time, and it stifled me so much that I couldn't even move. I know it sounds, for some people it's going to sound ridiculous. How can something that inane paralyze you? But it does, because in my mind, I'm failing to meet the expectations of other people. Instead of saying, Shelly Marie, meet your own expectations, even if you move your body for only 5 minutes. Even if you choose to just, stretch, do 4 jumping jacks or 15 push-ups or whatever, that's movement. And you're not doing it for anybody but you. And that's how it needs to be. I didn't share my progress. I shared it at first because I was motivated, I'm pumped, and I really, really wanted to make people proud of me. And then I thought, you know what? The only person whose opinion really matters is my own. And I think that's what we need to look at for each one of us. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Okay? Don't worry about what you think other people are thinking about you. What other people think of you is none of your business, because somebody's always going to have an opinion. And those opinions can bring us to a paralyzing fear of not wanting to do things because we're so afraid we're going to fail at it. Think about all the inventions that we have in the world, right? If Henry Ford or whoever invented the first car, I know he did mass production, but whoever invented the wheel, right? If they failed the first time, oh no, what happens? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, right? We'll take this. We'll take the most simple object in the world, right? A tumbler. somebody's probably sitting there going, there are a million people out there who just want to throw away their cup. They don't want to carry it around with them. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that, blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, people are finally paying attention to the fact that using reusable stuff is a little bit more environmentally friendly. But also, you make a bunch of designs, people are going to buy them. I cannot tell you how many of these tumblers I have. I have one from Arizona, I have one from Colorado, I have 3 from Disneyland. I mean, really, how many cups does one person need? I even stole one from older sibling because she doesn't use it. Her little peace sign one. That's right. I thought it was mine, but I think it was hers because it makes more sense that it was hers. Speaking of water, but truthfully, what if no one made those? We'd have landfills the size of the Empire State Building at this point, but people use them, and they didn't think. They're just saying, you know what? I know that it's for consumerism. I know people are going to want to buy it. But, and yeah, they make pretty designs, they make themed designs, everything, right? And a lot of it is, they just didn't care. They thought, hey, you know what? I want to make some money. I'm going to do this, but other people love it. I love mine. I love my cups. I love my cups. And, they bring me joy, and I use them over and over again. It's better than, because, we have a thing on our fridge, so I can just pour my water from there. And I'm an avid water drinker. So, but I don't want to use a bottle all the time. I don't personally like drinking out of a bottle. I like drinking out of a straw. So, or a cup, but mostly with a straw. But I mean, what if they were afraid? What if they said no one's going to buy this? And maybe they didn't at first. Maybe it didn't catch on at first, right? Because you notice in the early days of tumblers, there weren't a lot of them out there, and they were super expensive because nobody was really buying them. And they were kind of this new fad. But the new fad actually turned into a good idea. What if the people who put water in those paper cartons, what if they thought, because they're recyclable, right? And what if they thought, but I love them. I love them. And actually, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I think the water tastes fresher. I know that's just, and like I said, I drink a lot of water, so I can taste the differences in different waters. And you're probably thinking, Shelly Marie, really? But no, seriously. Depends on where they get it from. Depends on how they bottle it. Depends on how long that water was in the bottle. Even Sissy Joe used to always tell us, you cannot keep your water bottles in the car when it's hot because the plastic can melt into it. Or it lets off some kind of chemical, or, I don't know. I've just decided I'm going to live forever like a vampire, so he'll watch tomorrow I die. I'm kidding. Good karma, good karma, good karma, good karma, good karma. Older sibling's going to kill me for that one. But no, I'm kidding. I don't know. Now I made myself scared. I better be really careful. But you're probably thinking, Shelly Marie, you're going in all different directions. I'm going in all different directions for the one reason of this. Why do we let fear hold us back? Oh, see, I just got an angry emoji. And I got a lot of angry emojis. I'm sorry. Good karma, good karma, good karma, good karma, good karma. Dear God, please let me live a long time. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. That was not a good joke. That was a terrible joke. But it's the stupid random shit that comes out of my mouth. But what it's talking about, what the point I was trying to make with all these different sidetracks that I did, is that if people stopped at something, we wouldn't have a lot of things. If people let fear get in the way, we wouldn't have a lot of things. If Nikola Tesla didn't do all the things he did, Thomas Edison wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things he did. And that's about all I'm going to say on that. But the point is, the Lumiere brothers, right? I was just watching a thing last night about old, some of the oldest film ever made. And the Lumiere brothers of France, right? If they didn't put together these movies, would we have movies nowadays? And it was just, the person that was narrating was like, yeah, it might seem like mundane life to other people, but when you put yourself in the mindset of somebody back then, watching people on film, or even watching yourself on film, leaving your work, right? Leaving the Lumiere factory. That's impressive, because it's like, whoa, wow. And of course, you probably had those random 1% of the people that are going, is that what I look like? So, because we all do it. But I mean, think about it. If people didn't take risks and move through their fear, there'd be a lot of things we don't have. A lot of things we don't have. I mean, look at all the inventions that we have. I mean, I'm wearing a computer on my wrist. I'm carrying a flat screen in my pocket, that pretty much ties me to the rest of the world. I can communicate with my friends overseas and, like nothing, like nothing. When I was younger, I mean, my pen pal, everyone I communicated with overseas, I had to send a letter to. Otherwise, it was a huge phone bill, right? And then email came along. So I know these are big examples, but just find one thing today that you're afraid of. Find one thing today that you're afraid of and move through it. Move through it. And if it is something that, as like, I don't like to talk to people, I don't like to make eye contact with people, just if you're comfortable, because I don't want to push people out of their comfort zone either, but if you're comfortable, just make eye contact and smile. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. Just just like that. Yesterday, okay, I'm going to circle back to what I was talking about yesterday. Remember I was talking about the good vibes and everything, and then over the course of the show, I've always talked about how you wake up can really set the tone for your day. Yesterday was magical. Okay, yesterday was magical. I woke up yesterday morning, and the first thing that entered my head was all the worries and the fears of my day. And I thought, no. This is how I wake up every morning, and it ends up being about as crappy as I'm expecting it to be. But yesterday was no different than any other ordinary day in my life. Had errands to run, took sibling with me, and we went to get gas because we've got a lot of stuff this week for her. She has a lot of appointments this week. So, we went, got gas, and of course the big truck was there, and it's like, oh, so siblings like, oh, pull over here. And I'm like, oh, great. But then this one guy at the very front of the line I'm in says, hey, there's an open spot right over here. And there was no one behind the person because it was where the big gasoline truck was. So pulled up over there. And it's like, wow, thanks. Hey, thanks. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for paying attention. And looking after my best interests. We go into the store. I accidentally cut a woman off. I wasn't paying attention. Shame on me, right? Because I'm the one that yells at people that don't pay attention. It's like, really? But, and sibling said, sorry. And she's like, no, it's okay. And then I turn, I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, you guys don't have to say you're sorry. It's okay. And she was super nice. Then I'm putting the grocery cart away, right? And, this gentleman who, I heard him sneeze from the other lane of cars. And I just, under my breath, blessed him. It's like, bless you. He didn't hear me, obviously. But we're returning our carts at the same time. And he just looks at me and he says, have a great day. And I'm like, thank you. You too. It was magical. It was magical. And you know why? Because I didn't have this scowl on my face. Because I wasn't afraid of my day. I wasn't putting up this mask of fear. Or I have excellent resting bitch face. Okay. I have excellent. My RBF game is gold medal standard. Okay, when I'm focused, I look like I'm mad. And I don't mean to. It's just, I have perfect RBF. But yesterday I was smiling. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, there were people in the store smiling at me, and I didn't even realize I was smiling. Even the people who were being asshats in the store and just, wandering around like nobody's paying attention didn't bother me. It didn't bother me because I wasn't looking for something to be angry about. I wasn't looking for something to be mad about. And that was because I wasn't afraid of facing my day. And I know, I always try to say this because I don't want people to think that, oh, well, Shelly Marie, come on, not every day is going to be great. No, not every day is going to be great. But if we started off, if we give ourselves a little bit of a boost and we give ourselves a little bit of a head start, maybe we won't fall so far behind. And a lot of that comes from fear. What if today doesn't turn out the way I want it to? What if today doesn't bring me what I need? What if today, what if it does? What if it does? I wasn't asking for smiles or, have a great day or no worries or whatever yesterday. I was just looking to go do my errands and do my thing, but I was in a good mood. And I had to push myself into that good mood. I had to push myself past my fears of worries to put myself in that place. And the dividends paid off. It paid off. I mean, I journaled about it yesterday. Finally, something in my journal, right? And going back to the whole journaling thing that I was talking about, I had to face my fears and say, hey, you've got to leave your past behind because you're in a new era of you. This is not you anymore. This is not you anymore. All this pain, all this sadness, all this trauma, all this healing, that's not you anymore. You are here. Start here. You know, on those maps in the mall, you are here. You know, I mean, you're not going to go shopping at this store, have everything you need, and then go back for no reason, right? No. Sometimes we're going to revisit things because they're going to come up and they might need to be healed. But I think our goal is to not be afraid to move away from it, to move far from it. So again, I know a lot of this may not seem like it makes sense to you, but I feel like a lot of times when I'm talking, it's just somebody's talking through me. I know it's my subconscious or my brain or whatever, but and sometimes I think I'm working it out as I'm speaking here. But everything I mentioned, for once, seems to really make sense. Because there are things that we have in this world that if somebody was afraid they'd fail, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have phones. You know, if Steve Jobs said, oh man, what if it fails? What if we don't sell these? What if this? What if that? What if that? Now these original OG units, I mean, they're collector's items. They are collector's items. But who knew, right? This tiny little screen. The tiny little screen that people used to look at when all the computers, remember when all the computers were kind of one piece almost? Or 5 million large separate pieces? But people didn't give up. They didn't quit. They didn't let fear get in their way. And a lot of times people have that sense of self enough to not let fear get in the way. And that's what a lot of us need to find. We need to find that self-esteem. We need to find that confidence that allows us to push through that fear. You know, there's a great quote I heard a long time ago. It was from an actor. And I really, really liked it because it was like, you know, feel the fear, give it a little home, give it, you know, and then do it anyway, or something like that. But it really resonated with me because it's like, you know what? Yeah, you're not trying to push away your fears like they don't matter. Your fears do matter. And that's where I see when you say, give it a little home, just embrace that fear and say, hey, you know what? It's okay. I've got you. And then, you know, tell yourself, now do it anyway. Do it anyway. You know, and that's sometimes the best thing that we can do for ourselves. So there's that. Now, I got the affirmators. Haven't looked at it yet today. Oh, this is just mean. This is just the universe giggling at me. So today I'll notice all the little ways I'm loved, nurtured, and supported. Go ahead, universe. That's your cue. So I kind of talked about that, about what happened yesterday, right? But the reason I'm saying the universe is giggling at me is I have to go take my blood test this morning. I have them done every 6 months, and I cannot have coffee and I cannot have anything to eat. I can only have water. So I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I'm so hungry and I want my coffee. But yeah, today I'll notice all the little ways I'm loved, nurtured, and supported. So this is perfect for the fear card, right? Notice all these things and then remind yourself, you know what? I'm feeling all these things. I can conquer something today that I didn't think I'd ever be able to do. You know, even like I said, if it's just smiling at someone or saying hello or have a nice day, or if you're at the grocery store and, you know, maybe you do self-checkout. I always like to tell the people who look at the self-checkout, you know, have a great day. They don't always answer me, but that's okay because I know that I tried. And sometimes it's all it takes because sometimes it is my fear to talk to people. I can be very shy at times, very shy. I mean, like paralyzingly shy. But yeah, so feel your fear, give it a little home and do it anyway. Okay. And I think that's perfect, wonderful, great advice. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Self-Care Wednesday. And, yeah, I don't know what we'll do. We'll just make it random and something fun. Okay. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you tomorrow.